and welcome to another PHP tutorial with me, Mr. Hammerfish. How are you doing today? Today we're going to look at using PHP to make life easier for us. The first thing we're going to look at is using a PHP function to define our include path to make it much easier for us to include files. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define an application variable. So I'm going to type define application path, and then we're going to use a quick PHP function called real path, which gets the current path that your project's in. And then this requires a variable, so we're going to use /com, which is where all of my PHP function files are. So we've defined that, and then we're going to define a second one, which is the current path, which is the current path of where the index.php we're working with. And with that one, we're going to get cwd. And get cwd is just get current working directory. And then we're going to create a variable here. I'm just going to call it paths. And that's going to be an array of our application path and the current path. So then, if we use another PHP function called setIncludePath, we can implode these. So we do implode $paths, and then we need to use path separator. And that's important because on different operating systems, be it Mac, Linux, or Windows, the path separator can be completely different. So now, if we var dump get include path, and then we go into our browser and refresh, you can see here that it's got my XAMPP, sites, MHF, com, and then that's our path separator, and then we have my public HTML file here. So we can see that that's working now, and we have a require once here of functions.php, which is in my com folder. But obviously we've set that up here with the application path. So if I remove this and save, when we go back to our browser, we can still see that my function here works. And here we have post me get input, and then we have the display input box. Now the display input box is just a simple PHP function. If anyone's seen a form, you'll know what this is. It's just a simple input your name, username, password, and then a submit button. So, how can we use this? So, to use this, we're going to create a new function. It's going to call it public function, and then we'll call that display input. Just open this up, and then we're going to pass the variable into here, which is $post. So, when a post is passed into a function, it's passed in as an array. So let's open up just an empty HTML variable here, and then we're going to do for each $post as $key equals greater than $val. What that's going to do is it's going to open up our array so that we can get each key out. Each key should be the name of each text box, and the value, which should be the user input. So we're going to do HTML dot equals, which concatenates the HTML variable, and then going to do $key, and then a full stop to concatenate it again, and then another full stop, and then $val. And then at the end here, all we're going to do is a line break. And then we just return HTML. But we need to do some things in our index.php so that we can use it. So if we go back to our index.php here, and we're going to do if is set $_post submit, just move that in there, and then open this up. We're going to do $postme equals, no, actually, make a mistake, display input. And in here we're going to pass in the post. Oh, and we've got to echo this as well because it's a return value. Otherwise, we just want to display our input box. So now if we save and go back to our browser and reload the page, here we are, nothing unusual. Mr. Hammerfish there in our name, username, any doesn't matter, and then we put in a password. And submit. We can see it's all come out properly. We have our name, password, username, and then the submit. So let's try and get rid of that submit. If we go back into our function here, and we can actually run an if statement in here. So if we do if $key equals submit, or $key equals submit with a lowercase, just in case, we don't want it to display anything. Otherwise, display what we've had posted. So if we save that now, go back into our browser, reload the page and type our text boxes in and submit, we can see it doesn't show up anymore. And that's a simple tutorial on how to add an include path and pass an array into a function. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I enjoy seeing what you make. See you next time for another episode of Advanced PHP.